Kansas.
It's back to Harris with 5 to shoot. Harris splits 2 defenders. Kicks back. Murphy to beat the buzzer. Got it! Johnny Murphy rips the cords. The 3-ball falls, and Allen Fieldhouse roars. They get it into Timberlake. He'll dribble out the final 2 seconds, and you can rock. Chalk it up. The Jayhawks win. Kansas bounces back again. Bill Self now 118-18 coming off a loss.
Well, it's a grind. We've dropped a couple against teams that played terrific in the nights we played them. I mean, Syracuse and Central Florida were terrific, and we're getting into the teeth of our schedule now, and you can't afford to give it away any at home. And Cincinnati is good, and they're long and athletic, and we had to play out of foul trouble a little bit with Hunt, but some guys came through. Johnny was great, but it's going to be like this every night. I mean, our team's going to need 4 or 5 starters each and every night to play well to give us the best chance.
Chiefs.
More special. He's he's fast and one of the faster guys on the field when it's all said and done, and he's shifty. Where Josh he'll go right through you. He doesn't care. He's a big man and probably equally as fast. I mean, he's a fast kid. He's run away from secondary players. We've seen that on tape. So this kid, he throws it well. He throws on the move well. He runs the ball well. We've just got to stay on top of that part of it throughout practice this week and then during the game.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Bukaty with Jake Gutierrez. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. We'll talk to former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio at 7:30. We also will have Mark Borichter, former Chiefs wide receiver, in studio. And then Jeff Chadilla from NFL Network and NFL.com will be with us in the 9 o'clock hour in studio. I didn't think the drive was too bad. There was a couple of slick spots. The parking lot's really slick. But I'm seeing more school closings, even in the Northland. So get up and check your messages and see if your kids got school. I haven't seen anything from St. Pius yet, so... North Kansas City School District out, according to this tweet. So more school closings. Be careful out there. Give yourself some extra time. But I didn't think it was too bad driving in. It was all right. So we'll see. We will see. Andy Reid spoke to the media yesterday, so we'll have some clips from Big Red in the next segment talking about the Chiefs win over the Bills and previewing the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens coming up on Sunday in Baltimore. We had a fun show yesterday, having a blast actually talking about the Chiefs beating the Bills. I read some player quotes, some player comments from X from Twitter. However, none of them were better than the comment that I saw from Justin Reed yesterday, because he was not having it from one person that was criticizing him out there. And so, I like it when players clap back. Right? I mean, as long as it's within, I don't know, as long as it's reasonable, I'm here for it. You don't have to let people talk to you any way they want. For example, Justin Reed tweeted out a picture of him with his hands in the air after the Chiefs victory, Middle of the field ain't free. There's a toll to pay. On to the next. It's a good tweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone responded, great tackler, but can't guard a soul. Justin Reed, quick to respond, 0 catches allowed, and I can't guard a soul. LMAO, guard these nuts.
Got him. These nuts.
Guard these nuts.
Got him.
Is what Justin Reed responded.
Yeah.
That's the kind of response I'm looking for.
Right.
You know, the Chiefs are feeling it in the postseason right now when you've got their safety telling a fan to guard these nuts.
These nuts. I mean, that's a 2-on-1 situation.
Yeah. So
Bracket coverage.
that's what I like to see. That's the edge I'm looking for right now in the playoffs for the Chiefs. Right?
Yeah.
They got to have an edge.
Right. It's playoffs. It's an AFC championship game.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Hope to get Willie Gay Jr. back. I think that would be huge, especially for this game, especially for this matchup against the Ravens. The speed and athleticism at linebacker from Willie Gay Jr. would be huge. Love to see Mike Edwards come back as well. Andy Reid didn't have a whole lot of information about that yesterday, about the injuries, but we'll get more as the week rolls on. This AFC Championship game will be the first ever playoff matchup between MVP quarterbacks both under the age of 30.
Wow.
First time in the playoffs. That's amazing. The first time ever in the playoffs that former MVP quarterbacks would be matching up under the age of 30. I'd have thought that would have happened at some point, right?
Yeah, I saw a graphic last night. It's only happened 4 times at all that MVP candidates have played each other in the playoffs.
MVP winners?
Yeah, MVP winners have played each other in the playoffs. But yeah, it surprised me. First time under 30.
That adds to the matchup.
Heck yeah.
Another sparkle. Tom Brady retweeted a tweet from Bleacher Report. Mahomes and Kelsey passed Brady and Gronk for most postseason touchdowns, 16 by any quarterback-receiver duo in NFL history. No quarterback-receiver duo has connected for more touchdowns in playoff history than Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey, 16. Brady retweeted and commented, beasts, in all caps. When you one up Gronk, you're doing something right. Thanks, Tom Brady. That's nice.
That's right.
I got no problem saying Brady's a GOAT, whatever.
For now.
I get it. For better or for worse, he'll always have that over Mahomes. That's just, beating him in the championship game and beating him in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's hard to. It's just, hey, Buffalo has to deal with Josh Allen being a great quarterback, but not being as great as Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes could certainly eclipse all of Tom Brady's individual records, but, he got him twice. Probably Tom Brady and his teams probably prevented the Chiefs, certainly prevented them from winning one championship because of the Super Bowl, and they would have won if they had got past him in the AFC Championship game. So he stopped them from winning 2 more championships. But maybe the Chiefs aren't what they are had they not gone through those 2 struggles and awful defeats. It made them better. So it is what it is. But I just like the fact that, he could have said something smart ass or, count my rings or, And he could. He's like, okay, well. Okay, then.
He could have said nothing at all.
Right. I liked that he acknowledged it, called them
absolutely.
beasts, and said when you went up Gronk, you're doing something right. I don't know. Goat, recognize goat. I like that.
Yeah.
Significant.
You know?
Well, you could tell Mahomes has that kind of respect for Josh Allen, can't you?
Like I don't see Michael Jordan commenting a whole lot on LeBron. You know what I mean?
No, you don't, do you? That doesn't seem like that's on brand for Jordan. He finds a way to be mad at
That seems
LeBron.
like, F him or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, that just caught my eye. I said, yeah, you know what?
like
Yeah.
that. There you go, Tom Brady.
That's right. He gets it. He appreciates it. And when you win all those titles, and you know, it's like you could kind of sit back. Yeah, hey,
Good for them. They got that nice record. I got my 6 Super Bowl rings.
But still, it's
7.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It still means something.
Heck yeah, it does.
It still means something. Good news yesterday. Even though Andy Reid did not divulge any information about the injury situation, Ian Rappaported that all-pro guard Joe Thuney, and before he went out of the game on Sunday, he was a beast. He dominated Ed Oliver. He was terrific. Joe Thuney's a quiet assassin. We don't talk about him enough. He's all-pro. He's one of the best in the business. He makes a lot of money, but he earns it. He's fantastic. There was fear, when you hear about the pec injury and then he has to have an MRI on Monday, that there's a tear or something that's going to immediately remove him from playing in the championship game and if they make it to the Super Bowl. Rappaport reported that Joe Thuney suffered a pec strain in Sunday's win over the Bills. That is a potential good sign for his availability over the next few weeks. I like that Ian Rappaport's looking ahead for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But so it's will he play on Sunday? I don't know, but it wasn't something that immediately ruled him out. So that's good news because there was a chance he gets the MRI yesterday and it's up, partial tear, he's out. No chance. And so that'll be monitored closely over the course of the week, but at least there's still a chance that he plays on Sunday. Whatever they saw in the MRI did not rule him out. So that's very good news. Now we need Mike Edwards to make it through concussion protocol, and we need Willie Gay Jr. to get that neck fixed. But I will tell you again, and watching some of the film yesterday, Nick Allegretti played well. Nick Allegretti played, and when they closed the show after the missed field goal, Nick Allegretti had a really nice block. Nick Allegretti is quality depth. They can still win with Nick Allegretti in the lineup. And so we want Joe Thuney to play, but Nick Allegretti, he's once again a luxury to have as quality depth on the Chiefs roster. But that was good news. That was good news for Joe Thuney. Another Hall of Fame quarterback made an interesting comment that I thought that made good sense to me. And I like what he said. Kurt Warner. I like Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner had a fabulous career, the Hall of Famer. He said, "Why can't we just say the reason Josh Allen didn't win isn't because he wasn't really good, but simply because the other guy in the other team was better. Period. Sometimes to win those games, you have to play almost flawless, and that's nearly impossible." Yeah. Sometimes the other guy's better. And that's it. And that doesn't mean Josh Allen isn't a great quarterback, because he is. How frustrated were you watching him on Sunday? Run for first downs, make throws on the run. Just it's wildly frustrating to watch him play, especially when your team's trying to stop him. And I like the guy. I mean, we see a variety of people up in Lake Tahoe for the American Century Championship and deal with a lot of different personalities. They have a lot of quarterbacks up there. Some of them are accommodating. Some of them aren't. He's always been cool and willing to do interviews, and I've always enjoyed talking to him. He didn't enjoy when I asked him about the 13-second game, and the interview ended quickly after that. But I felt like it was a necessary question. It's the offseason after that. Why wouldn't you ask about that? It'd be dumb if I didn't. But I dig him. If you just sit back and remove yourself as a Chiefs fan, and you think about who's fun to watch, like who are the most entertaining quarterbacks, who are the most physically gifted quarterbacks to watch, he's top 5, top 3.
Yeah.
Who are the best quarterbacks in the league? He's top 5, top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I look forward to having that conversation again once the season's over, because it's shifted quite a bit. But I mean, he's terrific. He's just not as good as Patrick Mahomes. And I know, and Buffalo fans get all hot under the collar. It's just like, I'm telling you, he's not as good as the best guy in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when again, bringing up basketball. It's like, oh, that he's not as good as LeBron. Well, like, what kind of insult is that? Like, LeBron's the best in the world. He's not as good as LeBron. What do you mean by that? Well, he might be second best. I don't know. It's just Josh Allen. I mean, hell, if he'd have come along 5 years earlier or 10 years earlier, he might have a couple of rings. He might. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he'd have had to go through Brady, but I mean, who knows? Maybe. He's had to butt heads with Patrick Mahomes, and it's not just him, but his team hasn't been able to get over the hump. But Mahomes is the best, man. Sometimes you got to deal with it. We've had to deal with it, like I just told you.
Yeah.
We'll always wear those Tom Brady losses, and they suck, but just like, Tom Brady did that to a lot of people.
He did it to Peyton Manning.
Yeah. You just run into the better guy. It's just been some people just doing these mental gymnastics to try to explain away Mahomes and explain away the Chiefs. It's just, look, the Chiefs figured things out, and the Chiefs, you can't play with the same intensity for 17 weeks as you do in the playoffs. You can't do it. You ramp it up. You learn over the years. We've seen the Chiefs have ups and downs in the regular season, but this team locks in the playoffs. They lock in the postseason. Like you playing a video game. You sit up straight all of a sudden. You're trying to win, like that meme shows.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play off Mahomes. That's a thing, man. Let's play off Andy Reid. Let's play off Spags. Go look at his resume and tell me there's not a thing, a real thing, like playoff Spags. He's done it. He's done it multiple places. Deal with it, NFL. You don't like it, but you got to deal with it. People were hoping, the window's closing. And the Chiefs might lose on Sunday.
Yeah.
And guess what? If they lose on Sunday, it's because the Ravens this year were just better. Because the Ravens look incredible on paper right now. The Ravens look unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't be shocked if the Ravens lost. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm not going to be shocked if the Chiefs win. I'm not going to be shocked if Lamar has a couple of bad mistakes and Mahomes goes in there and just is flawless and throws for 330 and 3 touchdowns, and Pacheco has a hell of a game in this offensive line dominated. We haven't seen the Ravens, the front seven, dominated by an offensive line all season long like this. It might happen. They're the Chiefs. This is their game. 6 straight AFC championship games. This is their game.
Mm-hmm.
Rename it.
I mean, the trophy's
That is
named
awesome.
after their founder, so, the game might as well be.
Is this the best? Well, I'll leave it up for debate. Is this the best team that they faced in the AFC championship game?
Okay, I have to go back through and remember.
Well, the first
Titans.
two you have to put up there are the teams they lost to.
Yeah,
The Patriots and the Bengals.
I would say it's between the Patriots. And the Ravens.
Is this team better than the Bengals team that they lost to at Arrowhead?
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, who have they beat? They beat the Bills, they beat the Titans, and then they beat the Bengals. Is this team better than all three of those?
Yeah, I guess maybe you could make a case for the Bengals from last year, but no, I think this team's better, more complete.
Is this team better than the Patriots to beat the Chiefs in the
that team won a
AFC
Super Bowl,
game?
and that was Tom Brady. So that's tough.
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, that's a tough bridge to cross for me. But man, you could make a case. Like if you wanted to, you could build a case. This is the best defensive team they faced, right?
The only number one seed they faced.
I mean, it's
obviously
number one ranked defense in the NFL. Number one in takeaways, I believe. Number one in sacks, I believe. And then their offense goes out. They're 6-0 against teams with records that are 3 games above 500. They've played 6 games against teams that are 3 games over 500. They beat them all. They beat them all bad, if I remember correctly.
I mean, in terms of just all-around team, I think this is the best team. I mean, you had the X factor in Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's the
the variable of Tom Brady lifts. Because that team was 11-5, and they came in here, and then that team was also losing at halftime to the Falcons, and Falcons piddled down their leg.
But, by that point, the Patriots were like what we're saying about the Chiefs, too, which is get through the regular season, win the East, and then turn it on in the playoffs because they were, going to the playoffs every year. The Tom Brady thing is the one thing that makes it hard for me to say this Ravens team is definitely better. But.
And that Patriots team only had 2 All-Pros in Stephon Gilmore and Cordell Patterson at kick returner.
I'll go ahead and I'll call Tom Brady an All-Pro.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying for that season.
Right.
For that season.
Right.
I
feel like he deserves it.
Yeah, you think? You think?
That team went on to play the Rams in the Super Bowl.
That's right.
The 13-3.
That's right.
Their defense was nice.
Yeah, that was prime Stephon Gilmore.
Man, but you look at the resume of this Ravens team and who they've beaten. You kind of listed it off yesterday down the stretch of these teams that needed to play.
They put it on the 49ers. That was the most impressive.
Yeah, and then they backed it up by trouncing
They embarrassed the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
So whether or not it's the best team or not, what makes it the biggest challenge is it's on the road. So that separates it. Because all those other games, all those other championship games were at Arrowhead. And so but here's the deal. The Chiefs are better on the road.
Yeah.
So is it?
I don't know.
Like this year.
And Mahomes has always been good on the road, hasn't he?
It's even. It's like he's like 36-11 at home, and like now he's like 39-11 on the road. It's stupid. Yeah, but this year in the regular season, the Chiefs were 6-2 on the road, 4-4 at home, and 1-0 in Germany. Now in the playoffs, they're 1-0 and on the road and 1-0 at home. So they had a better record on the road this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that part doesn't really. I don't really feel like that's much of a factor in this game.
I'm going to ask Jake again since he's been to all these stadiums. Is the Ravens stadium, is the Ravens crowd, the Ravens home field advantage greater than the Buffalo Bills home field advantage?
I'll stick with my answer
you
last week.
You think it's a tougher place to play than Buffalo?
I do.
You know, one thing to add to that, I think that Orchard Park at this time has a little bit of what Arrowhead did before Mahomes, which is great crowd, passionate fan base, but angst over the past. And when things start getting tight, I think the stadium can actually have a negative impact. You remember those days like when, even when Alex Smith was the quarterback, you're at Arrowhead like in that The game where Mariota throws the pass, it gets batted right back to him, and he runs it in. And everybody in the stadium starts going, "Oh no!"
Right, not again.
Oh no! And you could feel that tension.
And Alex Smith was the quarterback.
Yeah,
So.
But yeah. Yeah.
Well pointed. No,
You know what I'm saying though, like
that was part of it.
Yeah, that's but the history too. You know what I mean? Like the history of knowing. Oh man,
I'm just talking about.
We've seen this happen before, and in Baltimore.
I mean, it's loud, man. I'm just telling you, just in loudness. I've been around both those stadiums. I've been in Seattle. I mean, I've obviously been
everywhere
in Arrowhead, but that's the loudest stadium I've been when I was on the road.
All right.
There's something about it, man.
71,000.
It's a cool stadium.
Because that stadium was loud on Sunday night in Buffalo.
And I think this will be a whole other level, Nate.
A whole nother level. Come on, say it right. A whole nother.
It's gonna be great.
I'd like to go to a game there, man.
It's
I've
cool,
been to,
man.
I've been to a bunch of
would.
Orioles games in that area, but I've never been to a Ravens game.
It's one of my favorite stadiums that I've been to.
Cool area.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll play some comments from Andy Reid, hear what he had to say yesterday. We'll be right back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We played the call from Kevin Harlan yesterday of the Buffalo Bills missed field goal. A lot of people were asking us for the Korean call of that missed field goal, so Jake was able to unearth that, and here's how that sounded.
모든 문들을 닫았어요. 네. 그렇기 때문에 조시 앨런 선수가 오른쪽으로 나오면서 시간을 벌어봤지만 오픈된 리시버를 찾을 수 없었습니다. 44야드 거리입니다. 타일러 베스. 오른쪽으로 벗어났어요.
That's wide right.
That's exactly right.
Wide right.
That's right.
Now, if you learn how to say wide right in Korean.
오른쪽으로 벗어났어요.
Well, did you see the video of Gabe Davis, who did not play on Sunday, getting cursed out by Buffalo fans and him screaming profanities back at the Buffalo crowd?
No. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Cole Beasley, who I don't even know I'm going to read anything from Cole Beasley, but he retweeted the video and said, crazy thing is Gabe is about that life. Gabe is probably the biggest dog on that team. You start losing dogs, your team starts falling off the cliff. Bills fans don't understand what they were about to lose. Well, he was mad. He had to be held back by Dawson Knox. Yeah, just
Is he a free agent after this year?
search Gabe Davis. I think so.
Come on down.
He was hot. I think they can do better.
Yeah.
Let's listen to what Andy Reid had to say. Let's start off with number one, Jake. Here, Andy Reid gives a recap of the win over the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, so I don't have much to give you on the injury report. We'll just see where that goes today. We got back relatively late, but I thought from the game standpoint, I mentioned after the game about all the guys sticking together and supporting each other and in a hostile territory, I guess you'd say. That was a thing that really stuck out to me right after the game. And then after watching the tape, just the defense picking it up that second half and really putting it down, even down to the last drive where they had to kick a field goal and they kept it out of the end zone. I thought that was big to just, okay, enough's enough, and we can't let them score. So a touchdown. To the offense making some plays. It was great to see MVS get a couple of nice catches. I thought Kels had a big night. Pacheco, and for all those guys to be able to do that, the offensive line did well. And I'd flip that over on the defensive side, and I'd tell you the same thing. For things to settle down like they did, that starts up front. And I thought Chris Jones did a nice job of communicating that to the guys, and Bolden and Drew of working through their stuff there and making sure everybody was lined in the right spots and so on. So and then the back end, Snead just continues to be. Like I said, I have a hard time believing anybody's doing it better right now than him. But he's done a nice job along with the other guys back there. Reed had a couple of really nice plays too. So, and then special teams. Can't talk much about Tommy because he didn't have to do much. He just had the one punt. But Bucker continues to do a nice job for us, and I know the guys have the ultimate trust in him. And then the coverage teams were good. So that means that the coordinators did a good job with it. The guys executed and believed in what the coordinators were putting out there. I mentioned about Spags, just second half, just making a couple of little adjustments there. And Nagy's game plan was so deep. I mean, even by the time we got to the fourth quarter, we saw a lot of just good stuff left over. And Dave's group did a nice job. Even even on the fake punt, we had 10 guys out there, but made it work. So,
how haunted do you think Buffalo fans are by the fact that they're the team that made the trade with the Chiefs that allowed the Chiefs to draft Patrick Mahomes? How often must they think about that?
Right.
I mean, it happened. They did this to themselves, you know.
It's crazy to think, though, that I mean, like, you could justify at the time the trade, right? But didn't know he was going to become this good.
Here, Andy Reid talks about rookie safety Shamari Connor stepping up when the Chiefs needed him against the Bills.
No, that's a great question there, Pete. Shamari did a heck of a job. I mean, he's been working in nickel and dime situations, but to come in and have that extended time in there and make the plays he did, with the exception of just trying to pick the ball up, the scoop and score thing. I should have just fallen on it when it's all said and done. But he sure did a nice job in there. Yeah.
And then Whitehead, just being in personnel before, I know you're a little bit more hands off now, but how impressed have you been on with your staff on the day three guys like a Snead, like a Connor, Watson, Williams, that type of thing? Yeah,
listen, I'm a big Brett Beach fan, so he's done a great job. I told him after the game, that's him. This game is him. This is a reflection of all the time and effort he and his guys have put in. It's just that's what it comes down to. They've given us good football players to coach.
Is there a position group anywhere where Veach has nailed it more than in the secondary? I mean, it's crazy how many guys have produced regardless of where they were taken in the draft. But even when they did decide to go in the first round to get somebody, that guy became a stud.
If you give him credit for Mahomes, he hit a home run there.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't hit a bigger home run than that.
And that brings up an interesting question. Because of their ability to draft and develop defensive backs, does that make you less willing to splurge on L'Jarius Sneed? Or is L'Jarius Sneed special enough to where you're willing to give him a fat contract?
I hate to say it, but yeah, I am more willing to let him walk. And that is me thinking he is easily the most underrated defensive back in the NFL.
Many people have claimed he was the best corner in football this year.
Hard to argue with the stats.
And I didn't watch every other corner, but watching every Chiefs game, dude is incredible.
I mean, he shuts people down. He's not just people, the best. He shuts the best down.
And then he also like is incredibly good as a blitzing defensive back. He's a good tackler. You know, he's good against the run. He's good at everything. It's crazy. But yeah, like I think watching the Chiefs this year, I'd rather them spend that money on a wide receiver. I hate to say it, but like, because you see Josh Williams come in, Jalen Watson play, like these guys, they just know how to find good corners. And maybe it's foolish to think you're just always going to find them, but so far they have. And they might not find somebody as good as Snead, but I think. Now, are you choosing? Are you going to spend that money on Chris Jones or Snead, or are you going to have to let both of them walk? I don't know how that all works.
All right, let's play another. This is Andy Reid talking about Travis Kelce's first touchdown catch from Patrick Mahomes against Buffalo. And then Sam McDowell follows up and asks Andy Reid about the jacket he was wearing during the Zoom press conference.
Yeah, so he's got three options on that. on that side, and he's got to let it sort out just a tick, and he did that. He was very patient with it, and then obviously very accurate with the throw. And it was a throw that he kind of, not the same play, Sam, but it was a throw that he missed Trev on a little bit earlier, a corner route like that, and he he just fixed the problem and was spot on.
And then wanted to just ask if there's a significance for your jacket today.
Yeah, first of all, my office is freezing, so this is a good jacket to have on. Second, I'm a big fan of the Tuskegee Airmen. I mean, I've always liked that crew, man, and the stuff that they did. Thanks for asking, though.
All right, that was Andy Reid. Yesterday, we have some more coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. But Andy Reid, as he spoke to the media via Zoom, just a day after the Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills in the division round of the playoffs 27-24. We'll be right back after this on WHP. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. There was college basketball last night. Kansas hosted Cincinnati on Big Monday. Nate, what happened?
As Robert Goulet used to sing, Big Monday's back again. Lots of primo games on the tube again. Good game. The
Big Monday is not the same as it used to be.
No, it's not. Well, college basketball is not the same, is it?
How come Big Monday is not the same? You agree with that? I didn't think you'd agree with that.
I don't think anything is the same. I mean, it's like there's just so much saturation of everything, you know? It's funny. I was explaining to my daughter last night. Like, she's like, why is this game starting so late, 8 o'clock? I said, well, that's always the time slot on Big Monday for the Big 12. She said, well, what's Big Monday? You know, trying to explain it to her. I was like, well, it used to always be Big East and then Big 8 back in the day. And now it's like ACC game and then a Big 12 game. So there's not even a big in the title of ACC, and that takes something away from it.
The two
there you go, right here.
In the English
Little Goulet.
language after chorus girl. College hoops. Big Mondays here again. Lots of primo games on the tube again. You better wait till the half to hit the John, my friend. El Grande Mondays here again. Hey, school night, schmool night. You better watch or I'll give you a pop quiz right in the kisser, eh?
A little pop quiz.
Okay, how was that?
From Goulet.
I smell platinum.
Johnny Furphy's the big story for me with KU right now, because we've been talking, the big question for them all year is who's going to be that fifth guy. We know KJ Adams, Dickinson, Harris, McCullough, those are go-to players. But the fifth player, who's it going to be? And Elmarco Jackson was that guy for most of the start of the season. But now over the last 3 games, Johnny Furphy's really come on offensively. He's averaging 17 a game, I think, over those 3 games. He scored 23 last night, had 11 rebounds. He was supposed to be a big-time shooter and scorer when he came, but, you know, as a freshman, you don't know how quickly a guy's going to get his legs under him and catch up to the speed of the game. He seems to have certainly done that offensively. His big thing is going to be getting better defensively. And I think that you'll see him progress. I told you, I figured Bill Self might have made him just do box-out drills all day after the game that they lost to West Virginia. He missed a couple of box-outs that easily could have cost KU the game against West Virginia. He had 11 rebounds last night, so that seems like a big step in the right direction. But he played a big game.
Have you watched much Big 12 basketball outside of Kansas?
Here and there. I wouldn't say much. I've watched it here and there when I could. If a game's on and I'm around, I try to have it on.
Do you have a feel for who you think is take Kansas out of the equation, who the best team in the league is besides Kansas?
Going into conference play, I would have said Houston, but I don't know, man. Not really. I don't. It's this league is going to be weird and wild. I mean, the 2 losses KU has on their resume already are a huge surprise to me. So, no, I don't really have a good feel.
Up next at Iowa State.
It's going to be tough. Iowa State knocked off Houston already. Yeah, I mean, Ames, Iowa's always tough, right? So, I would guess you would say Houston. KU Houston, I think, coming up on February 4th, not too far away.
When will you give K-State credit? What are you laughing for?
Yes, I was waiting for that too. I mean, they are sitting at the top.
I was asking.
Well,
you didn't even mention them. 4-1 in the conference.
I only mentioned one team, which was Houston. I'm very surprised at K-State's record so far in the league.
I think a lot of people are.
And I don't mean that to be disrespectful.
No.
I think K-State fans would say, yeah, I'm pretty surprised. But I will say this, they seem to know how to win close games.
10-0 in overtime.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they know how to win close games. And at first it was like, well, they beat West Virginia and Central Florida, kind of TCB. And, well, those 2 teams beat Kansas.
Well, they had, non-con, they had a big win on the road against Villanova. I mean, I think, they were a fringe bubble team going into the season. And I think they've kind of made a statement
K-State's at Iowa State tomorrow night.
That'll be a big one.
And then they are at Houston. And then they are against number 11 Oklahoma. That's another team probably deserves to be mentioned. So
they host KU pretty soon, don't they? K-State?
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4
looks like
games?
on February 5th. That a big That's a big Monday. That'll be at that'll be at K-State.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, dude, you look at it. They've got. I mean, it's the Big 12, so you're going to run through stretches like this. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. They've got 5 out of their next 6 games are against teams ranked in the top 25. I think so. We'll find out a lot about them. But they already beat Baylor. Baylor's top 25 ranked team, top 10 team when they beat them. So, but I think that's going to be a hell of a gauntlet right there. 5 out of 6 against ranked teams, and then after that they go TCU, who's no joke. Texas is no joke. They just beat Baylor, right? And then BYU again. I mean, it's just the whole schedule. You could. That's the Big 12. You're gonna.
A couple of nice games tonight. Texas at Oklahoma. You mentioned Texas with their buzzer-beating win over Baylor. And then Houston at BYU.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Those are both tonight.
Yeah. I'm starting to get a little ramped up, for league play.
Well, good. They're several weeks into it. It's about time you get ramped up.
5 games already. Yeah. Crazy. 6 for KU. KU. Man,
you all right?
They had a couple hiccups in their schedule already this year, Kansas,
Kind of sad you weren't here yesterday or last week to hear Jake complain about the tickets to go see Messi.
Oh, boy.
A lot of people were calling you out.
Yeah, well, I will stand on everything I said. People trying to...
because you said it would be more affordable if it went to Arrowhead, and it's not.
Well, it is. Imagine how expensive it'd be if it was at a 20,000-seat stadium.
I don't imagine it. It just seems like it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, but...
this guy's not rich. He's trying to see Messi, and he was depending on your word that the price would be driven down. And
it is.
I don't think
300's a lot less than 2,000.
Is it 300?
I mean, tickets I were looking at are over $450.
Yeah. Where are you getting these $300
Well,
tickets?
somebody tweeted at me, these are $327 for upper deck. Is that the cheap tickets you're talking about? Like, imagine.
See, people are coming after you for this.
And my answer was, how much would they cost if there were only 20,000 tickets available?
Are you an MLS mouthpiece?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll go look at some other road games and see how much they're charging for those.
Well, you have to.
I'm not going to let this guy get gouged because of you.
There's going to be 50,000 more people that get to see Messi play. That's just a mathematical fact. I don't see. Does that mean everybody gets to see him? No, but 50,000 more will get to see him.
Just because something is Arrowhead doesn't mean it's cheap.
How much
Having
for Taylor
gone
Swift
to Taylor
tickets?
Swift tickets?
Yes.
So you're boasting that it's going to be cheap to get in here. I don't.
Cheaper, more affordable, more people can afford it.
You said a family of 6 can go to see Messi and still have plenty for dinner.
Now, if I had said that would have been grounds for criticism.
You still have plenty for hot dogs.
Maybe.
Might not have dinner for the rest of the week after going to see Messi.
We don't got no milk aplenty.
Yeah. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHB.